господина Бенно Гримберга, который расскажет о вопросах, о гигиенических условиях на предприятиях по переработке мяса и молока, основываясь на опыте Нидерландов. Ben, floor is yours. Thanks. Will you speak in English?
Добрый день. I speak in English, but my presentation is translated by my colleagues in Russian language, so you can read it in your own language, and I cannot read it in my own language, but no problem. This is a short overview of the content of my presentation. Tomorrow I will give a bigger presentation. I like to focus today on two parts of our activities as a group of companies, mostly on the meat processing industry and also on the dairy processing industry, of course in relationship to food safety conditions. As a matter of fact, let's start with what's going on in the world, what's going on in my country, and the things that we have to take into consideration if we are active in this business, in the food processing business. There is a lot going on, and at a certain moment we think, okay, now it's done. We see all the innovations, all the new things coming to us, and it's not the end. If I quote a study in the Netherlands about what's going to happen in the period till 2050, then I meet this kind of categories, and you better take it into consideration because it will go into food processing. You will meet this kind of new technologies, and you have no choice than to adapt to it and to cope with it. That's not all. There's only a short selection of all the things that are now developing supported by ICT systems, and it will go into your sector. So be aware of things that are going on, and go to conferences like this and be informed about what you should do when you are investing into new modern technology. We are a group of companies, in fact we are a public-private partnership. At the private side we are with some 25 different Dutch companies that are all active in supplying equipment for food processing industries. We have 4 focus sectors. It's meat processing, dairy, fruit and vegetables, and industrial bakeries, and all that is has to do with bread baking. Today I want to focus on only 2 industries, as I said, meat and dairy. These are all the companies participating in our public-private partnership. If you want to have a complete overview, please go to our stand and take a booklet. They are all listed in the booklet with a short story and a website, so you can find anything you need. At the public side, there's the Dutch government involved, our Ministry for Food and Agricultural Business, and in Kiev, our agricultural councillor, Caroline Spaans, is also involved. So this is really a cooperation focused on Ukraine of Dutch companies and the Dutch government. We together think we can make a difference into the market by combining forces. This is a picture of things that you don't want to happen to your company if you are in the food processing industry. You want to make headlines, but not in this way. If you make this kind of headlines about something that went wrong with your production, you can mostly close your factory. And that's why food safety is so important, that it has enough attention in your company. These are awful pictures of things that we mostly cannot see, but they are in your factory if you don't take enough attention for food safety conditions. And more of these presentation later will also be done by my colleague Sergey from Dutrion about what to do when you are talking about hygienic conditions in your factory. And this is the concentration point. Here you should focus on people come from home, move from one production area to the other area, and they are the risk factor when you have to handle diseases. And this is a structural way of handling food safety into your factory. Elpress is only one of the companies in our cluster who is supplying this kind of equipment. Of course, there are more suppliers, but of course I want to present equipment from my companies. And if you take it seriously, these are pictures of Dutch and German companies who had to invest in this kind of equipment to make sure that food safety is okay in the company and they don't have to be worried to make headlines when something goes completely wrong. This is how it looks in bigger companies if you have a structure of food safety entrance control. The human factor is still very important in food processing, but we can also see, this is a picture from the IFA meat exhibition earlier this year in Frankfurt in Germany, a picture of the stand of MPS, supplying meat processing equipment, and you see a completely robotized slaughtering line for pigs. So you see, here is already less risk that the human factor with dirty hands will do stupid things. And these are new developments when you have larger volumes of red meat or white meat, then this kind of investments may be useful for you to be cost effective in the long run. Also very important in your company, sometimes people don't really give enough attention to it, is that you have a good quality floor. Most of you think, okay, the floor is not so important, it's better to focus what you put on the floor and the processing equipment. But it really starts with a good floor that can handle handle all kinds of strong production processes, like meat processing is a very dirty processing operation, and the floor has to stand many things that go on with slaughtering. All these things are very important if you take food safety seriously. Then you first make the healthy fundament for your company. Dutrion I can skip now because Sergey will later give a full presentation of Dutrion. But to say only a few words, also hygienic control in your company with help of this kind of means is very relevant. We think in Holland we are doing well. I think we are doing well in agri-food business worldwide. We are the second exporter of agri-food products after the United States. My small country, Holland, is the second one. So we are a small country. Your country is, from the territory point of view, 14 times bigger. But we are still the second exporter in the world. So probably we know how to do efficient processing, growing and processing. And this knowledge we like to export. A lot of Dutch companies are active in the food processing sector worldwide. One of them in our group is RBK Group. They mostly are active in the meat processing industry. And I show you some pictures of what they have realized in some countries. Like this is in Holland. Romania. This is in the Near East, and there you face that you have completely different weather conditions, and you have to handle these very hot weather conditions. One more example, and this is what they did in Kiev, in Ukraine, supporting LAN Ukraine in building their logistics warehouse. And this is an example in Russia. They did, in fact, do many projects, turnkey projects on different places in Russia, mostly in the meat processing industry. This is the last one in Holland that they did, a big meat production company in the south of Holland. When we go to the dairy industry, this is one of our companies in the western part of Holland. You can already see from the picture how seriously they take food safety conditions. I can only show you the pictures and you can see how important it is that people are aware all the time of what kind of work they do, and that finally this goes to the supermarkets and finally people have to eat it. Of course, food safety is a very significant subject all the time. And this is what you see with this cartoon. People don't just go to the supermarket and buy your products. No, they have more and more information. They can see more and more on the packaging. They can check websites. They can have all kinds of reports. So transparency is a big word, and it means that the consumer more and more knows exactly the contents of your products and where it comes from. So better be aware that you really have to take food safety conditions very seriously. Thank you.